Welcome to this new lesson of Visual Basic Programming. In today's lesson, we will learn about the do-while loop. I have already started the project, named it do-while loop. And I have a form here, and in the form I have a button, and I set the text property for the button to do-while loop, or let me change it, make it do-while better than while loop. And for the name property, it's btn while loop. Okay, and I'm gonna come here and double click the button to create click event, and we're gonna work with the do while loop in this lesson, and in the next lesson we will work with the do until loop. So what is a do while loop? Basically, the syntax of the do while loop is as follow. We say dim int counter as integer equals 1. Then I come here, I'm gonna say do while int counter less or equals 10. Then click enter, and I'm gonna say message box that show, and we're gonna give the user a message saying your number is, and we're gonna come here and percent int counter. Alright, so, and of course we're gonna come here and increment by 1, so we say int counter plus equal 1. So basically what I did here, I incremented the counter by 1. This is like saying int counter equals int counter plus 1. Okay, this is just another way to say it. Alright, let's explain this. In the do while loop, we have the following. We have the do keyword, and that is required to start the do while loop. Then we have the while keyword, and basically the while is required here unless we use until, but for now we are using while, then it is required. Then we have the end of the loop here, which says loop. This is what terminates the definition of the do while loop. Now, as you can see, my do while loop has a starting point, which is the 1, and this here is my condition. This right here is my condition right here. So the while will repeat the loop until the condition is false, meaning if the int counter is greater than 10, then the loop will end. And here I set the increment, and I set the increment by the increment of the counter by 1. So basically the do while loop will add 1 to the int counter and store it back to it, and it keeps going like that until it reaches 10. The moment it reaches 10, it will exit. Let's try this. So I'm gonna bring this here. I'm gonna click. That's my starting point, which is right here, and it's gonna increment by 1. When it reaches 10, it's gonna exit out. Alright, now I can change this to, for example, 3. And if I run it, it's gonna start from 1 because that's my starting point. Now the next number should be 4, then 7, then 10, then it's gonna exit. This is how the do while loop works, and of course this is required here. We did not need to do this in the for next loop, because by default the for next loop increments by 1, but the do while loop does not. So you have to set the increment right here. So whether you increment by 1 or by 3 or whatever number you wish, or you can also reverse it. go backward if you wish to do so, as we learned in the for next loop. You can do the same thing right here. And basically with this we come to the end of this lesson. I thank you for watching and you have a good day.